If you were talking right now to another CEO, what would you be saying to them about some of the mistakes that you made in your assumption of blockchain? And if you were doing that role again, what would you have changed about your approach?
I would count three things. One of them is lack of knowledge. The second of the cost, and the third is the prioritization. In many businesses, like even in our daily life, that we may say that, okay, I have to run every day to stay healthy. We don't do it because that's not a top priority.
I do. Yeah.
But that's brilliant. I mean, like truly, like we have to reprioritize some of the things because, like when you're running, I run a company that was public, and you're being measured every quarter based on your dividends and whatever the revenue that you need to generate that particular 3 months. But when you look at the blockchain, when it's like a 1 year, not a direct value that brings to your stock prices up or then brings you maybe more dividends, you may not just make it a top priority. But therefore, I feel the lack of knowledge and thinking that this is very costly. And the third, like it's not in your priority because of your other reasons, as I mentioned, that somewhat not comes to the table early enough. And that's really the key. When it comes to cost side, Kay, today there are companies, they call it BaaS, blockchain as a service. So you don't really need to create your own private blockchain network or system. Like even companies, I don't know if you're allowed to say this, but like large organizations like Oracle, they offer blockchain infrastructures for you. You just come and put your applications on top of that. Therefore, like lack of knowledge, cost, and then unfortunately prioritization always prevented me.
Are there savings from going from a data center to a blockchain?
First of all, if you're in a business that are a lot of transactions, and then if you want to really record all those transactions, if you have millions of transactions per second, I wouldn't recommend to go into blockchain right away, just to look at it, what part of that transactions you want to record it, because it could be quite costly. I mean, regardless of the trust and everything else that you will be transparency you're bringing to your consumers, it may not well worth to put everything there. And then it may slow you down because blockchain does have some limitations. We're dealing with thousands of blocks communicating constantly to each other. Therefore, you have to really ask the experts to look into what part of that information needs to be recorded. And what type of system you need to really leverage in order to do this. But other than that, your critical content, please always think about that. Now we have a new technology, new era, and your consumers, market, compliance agencies, governments are going to demand that transparency. And please start thinking about the distributed ledger or the blockchain.
What's the limitations of blockchain?
Speed. Sometimes it's the speed, how big the blockchain system is. Like if you have 1 million blocks trying to record every second, every millisecond the transaction and communicate to each other to validate that based on the principles that you develop, then there may be some slowdown for you. But if it's only 100,000, whatever, then it will be different. And again, I don't think that, as you also rightly outlined, you don't need to really put all the data onto the blockchain. There are only critical content. You just need to record it. Like for instance, when you're recording you own an apartment, you don't need to put like how many rooms they have or so. Just put the square meter, your name, location, and all that. That's it. Not many other things. Therefore, like decide on if you're in a transaction business, what content you need to record it. And number two, like what level of content you want to put it in.
Guys, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for conversations just like this.